So, guys, everybody knows, every Star Trek fan knows the animated series. This was the animated continuation, the cartoon version of the Enterprise with Captain Kirk, Spock. Most of the crew came back. The only actor and character that didn't come back was Chekhov, was Walter Koenig. But he wrote, I think he wrote one or two. He wrote at least one. Might have written two episodes. I think it was called The Infinite Vulcan, if I'm correct. And so it was a great show. It was a real landmark because when you look at live action TV, for the most part, a live action television show never becomes an animated show anyway. But with Star Trek, it was a true continuation. Most of the writers came back. Gene Roddenberry was there. And the actors were fleshing out their characters once more. So just that alone, the animated series is a real landmark in just TV and Hollywood history. And of course, with animation, with a cartoon version of a science fiction show like Star Trek, you could do pretty much anything. You weren't limited by the technological, the technology of the day, the technological effects, and you weren't limited by a budget. You didn't have to have get millions of dollars from, say, Paramount or CBS or NBC, whatever, outlet or, studio or network was carrying the show. So you've got, and today, of course, the Prodigy and Lower Decks, you've got, lots of animated shows. But for that time, for the animated series, for that continuation of the original series, it was just something really spectacular. One person, though, was not happy. He pretty much hated working on it. Well, he hated the process. And if you guys don't know, in animation, for the most part, they're recording the voices. They get the voice actors to record their lines, alone in a booth, in just sort of an audio booth. That goes for big shows like The Simpsons, Family Guy, wherever. And the classics, say, like, even Disney and Warner Brothers animated films. So for George Takei, this was not a great process. He didn't enjoy having to, to record his lines by himself. So George Takei gave an interview to this /film.com, and basically this is what he's saying. It was not as satisfying as the live action, the original Star Trek, because then we were there on the set together with the live action show, playing scenes with each other. With the animated version, when I arrived at the recording studio, Leonard might be leaving, and I would step into the booth and do just my lines. The scene might be with, say, Leonard or with Nichelle, but it would only be me recording the lines alone. And then when I'm finished and leaving, say, Jimmy Doohan would be coming in, and so it was not a very fun way of working. And I've heard that before, of course, with voice actors and animated shows. Sometimes they'll bring them together. I think they did a special one maybe with The Simpsons a couple times. I think they said Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, they would do Batman and Joker sort of together a lot or all the time, which is great because they could, as actors, they're really playing off each other. So George Takei was not satisfied, but he should be proud of the work because, again, in terms of a landmark show, a live action going animated and just as an animated show, the animated series is one of the best. If you've never seen it, which I find very impossible maybe as a Star Trek fan, if you're listening, watching here, but take a look. You'll love it. Animated series. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're subscribing, guys. See you soon.